Welcome back to another episode of Sailing Indiana. Last week you saw Chris dive under the boat to cut us free from a rope wrapped around our propeller after we hit a fishing pot on our way from Lagos to Tavira, Portugal. This week we arrive in Tavira only to find ourselves in more trouble, faced with shallow depths and a fast-flowing estuary. We have to think fast or risk damage from grounding or worse. We end up in the Guadiana River between Portugal and Spain, but our idyllic Anchorage soon turns into a smoke-filled nightmare as wildfires erupt right next to our boat. If you're not following us already, please hit the subscribe button to come along for the ride. Thanks for watching!
Navigating this very little entrance into Tavira. With speedboats that do this.
Okay, we've arrived at Tavira and we've had a hell of a time so far. For anyone that's coming in here, the depths are an issue, and tide as well. You've got to just catch the tide right to get in here because it's a bit of an estuary going up the river. Loads and loads of mooring balls. So behind us there's the deep part of the basin. It's just covered with mooring balls, so you can't actually get into that deep part. So we went further up the river, tried to anchor by another sailboat, but we were pretty close to a couple of other mooring balls. It didn't have boats on, but if boats came back, then we'd be in trouble. So then we picked the anchor up, went upriver, found a kind of nice spot that was a bit deeper, so we had sort of 5 meters depth, and we were on top of the tide at the minute as well, so it's high tide. So we were like, okay, well, it's going to fall maybe 2.3 meters. We'd still be okay. We drafted maybe 1.9. We were a little bit close to a bank that was on the other side of the river. We just were worried about what way we might swing, so we were going to put a stern anchor out, I think, once the tide had turned. So we were waiting for the tide to turn just to see where we'd sit, to put the anchor out, and then got a visit from the maritime police. They said you can't anchor here. You're in a channel basically, and which they probably were right. We were sort of in between two sort of markers. Yeah, I mean, boats were going past us fine, but they seemed to have a problem with it. Yeah, we lifted anchor again, went back down here, and we've just found a spot next to the deep basin, but we're sort of only on 4 meters, and if the tide drops, then by 2.3 we're going to be in the sand by sort of 20 centimeters or so. There is a deeper bit, but we've just sort of swung out of it, so we're now thinking we might put a stern anchor just to drag us a little bit further into the deeper bit. We were near another mooring ball ahead of us. It wasn't close enough, we thought, and then a sailboat's just come back and taken the mooring ball just ahead of us there, and so we've had to let a little bit more chain out just to give them a bit of swing room, and now I think we're a little bit shallower than we were before. So it's just been a catalogue of errors, is that right? Catalogue or calamity of whatevers? I don't know. It's not going great for us at the minute.
No,
I think it's overall it's a better spot down here than it is up the river where I said we might have been drifting onto that bank. It's busier. We're right near the entrance channel, so the boats are whizzing past all day, which has been great. Again, the depth is potentially going to be an issue. So we might move on tomorrow. We'll try and survive the night.
yeah.
Just see if we can push down maybe to the Guadiana River and see if there's some anchoring options up there, which we've heard of, which at least if we've got some more room, we can relax.
So we thought we'd put a stern anchor out to sort of, I don't know, stop us from swinging, but it's just like angled us in the weirdest way. So now you can't really see very well. We're just sticking out in the middle of the channel, and it's just backfired. And then we can actually put it back onto the boat. So we rigged up one of the lines to do it, and it's just sort of not worked very well. So Chris is out there in the dinghy, gonna cut the line and then bring it back, hopefully by hand. So yeah, we
shall see.
So you can see the tide's going out at the minute, and you can see here it's all just wash all the way to the exit there. Not to be reckoned with.
Morning.
Morning now.
Morning.
What night?
Oh yeah, it was so fun.
One of the best days yesterday. It was yeah, you can see over here that orange buoy in front of us. We came in yesterday and anchored kind of here. By the time we set 20 metres out, we were sort of about here, just next to this boat, and all looked good. Soon after, a sailing yacht came in and took that buoy, and it worked out that we were way too close. We were fine on the ebb, I think, but then the flood came in and we were basically lined up going this way, they were going that way, and it meant that we might have swung just straight into the side of them basically. So yeah, we had to wait for the low tide, which was 11:50. As well, the depth there, because the basin, the deep part of the basin is basically sits where those mooring balls are, and it's like, well, I put mooring balls in the only deep part. So just here it was 2 meters and it went down to 1.8 we had, but I think
1.9.
yeah, so that was the first issue. So I stayed awake. I wanted to stay awake until the tide was low, just to check we had enough depth, and then I knew we were going to turn soon after that as the water came through. I was like, well, I don't know if we're going to be close to them or not. We knew by that point it wasn't looking good. So then I just waited, and then at 1 o'clock in the morning, sure enough, we were just edging closer and closer to the boat.
We're just like
Drifting, yeah, and it
it's
just...
like slow motion, so it's like you can manage it.
Yeah, we had fenders out anyway, like, because we knew it could potentially be an issue. But anyway, so... Oh, there's a wasp. Yeah, so we had to re-anchor at 1 in the morning, literally just ahead of them. But now I woke up and they've gone.
Yeah, now they've gone.
All that for nothing. Well,
can't stay here today and do that all day. You'll be doing that every single time the tide changes. Right?
yeah, it's not deep enough here. It's not deep enough here to wait for the next low tide now, so we've got to go.
Yeah, we should go because we are on 2.7.
Yeah. Lots of eddies as we're coming out. What was that? Sorry.
There's many of them on this side, so it's fine.
Thanks, Tavira. Thanks for nothing.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's really beautiful, but it's just not for sailboats at all. Of private moorings, and it's just not for anchoring.
Yeah, not for us. We'll move on, but it's hard to say because I don't want to put other people off coming here, but there really is only a space for 1 or 2 boats to anchor there.
And even then, it's
Probably
very
not, actually.
tight. I think, no, in fact, we will put people off because I wish someone put us off coming here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The books are a bit out of date as well. They seem to be like, oh yeah, you can anchor here. There is nowhere to anchor. Nowhere. Yeah, not ideal.
No, it just seems that I think there's 1 anchor space up by the Club Nautica, and that was all we saw. That really you could safely anchor there and not be troubled by the swinging of when the tide changes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, you've got to put a stern anchor out or another bow anchor or something like that, and just muck around really, and then you might get that caught. So it might just not be fun basically. So anyway, concentrate. Coming up to the approach for the Guadiana River, and you've got to sort of go through a very narrow and shallow channel to lead up, so there's leading markers and things like that to follow. So it's a little bit of a tense moment. As you can see, the usual fishing pots littering the sea, making it very difficult for us to see which one the marker is and which one the pots are.
Anchorage.
It's getting a bit shallow, so we just want to check the depths. We want to be anchoring over here somewhere in shallower water, but not too shallow. So obviously just keeping an eye on the depth gauge. Probably don't want to anchor in any less than like 5 now, because the tide's about halfway and it will drop then. So planning for the tide that will be, not that is.
Yeah, so this is Spain, and then just across here is Portugal. That's Chris's head. Portugal. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So we have both our little test flags up.
Whether that's the right thing to do or not, we don't know, but
We did it.
I think we saw a boat earlier with the same marking, so we're going to go with it. The helicopter's literally just come and picked up water for it. Wow. Oh man. Oh cool. Yeah, he's dropping it now. That's going to just blow all the way down. Yeah, so we're in the Guadiana River. That's the Portuguese side there, and I just had this helicopter buzzing around while we were inside, and just looked up, and it's a wildfire that started on the opposite side. So not cool. It's this time of year. It's we've heard a lot about the wildfires that have just hit everywhere. Really, I think anywhere that is hot and dry. Yeah, it seems that this is the new normal with summers in these sort of places.
It was like 34 degrees today, and it's not even at the peak like temperature now.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's even like political to say it anymore. Like, you know, the world's getting hotter. You decide what the reason is for that, but it's happening. So either way.
It's not even a question really. Like it's there.
Yeah. Well, this is it. It's like it's happening. So what we're going to do about it? Even if you don't want to blame fossil fuels, or you don't believe in, you know, that's the reason. That is the solution that will cool the earth gradually again, is stopping that. We know it is a attributing factor, so why not? Let's now try and work together to sort of cool things down if we can. Whoever is to blame, if it is just a natural cycle of what the earth's doing now, fine. Well, if we can make that better, let's try. Yeah, not good to see.
That evening, we thought we'd escape the heat of the river and explore the nearby Spanish town of Ayamonte. We were surprised at just how lovely the town was. Beautiful architecture, cafes and shops, and a bustling family-friendly nightlife we were thrilled to have stumbled upon. After a wonderful evening, we went back to the dinghy that we'd moored precariously alongside the town ferry quay. We'd made new friends with an English couple, Holly and Tom, who had moored just down from us, so it was great sharing our time in the Guadiana River with them too. A really lovely place, one we'd suggest not to miss.
We're going to try this weekend to get from here to Gibraltar. So we've got about 150, 160 miles to go. We're going to stop just before Cadiz. We're going to stop at Barbate, and then we're going to go from there. So all being well, we could be in the Med in a few days. So
Mental.
I don't want to tempt fate or get too excited or whatever. It's boat life after all, but yeah, tentative excitement. That's the word.
As you might hear in Chris's voice, we can't quite believe how close we are to the Mediterranean now. A huge milestone for us to achieve as novice sailors who only bought a boat less than 3 years ago. Please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey, and thanks so much for watching.